Hi friends, in this session of Principles of Computer Science, we discuss ER models. During the past, large collections of data were processed manually. Their relationships were undiscoverable because they were scattered throughout large collections. But today's technologies make it easy to collect huge amount of data, combine or compare different collections of data, etc. The Entity Relationship Data Model or ER model provides a means of identifying entities to be represented in the database and a way to show the relationships between entities. The task of creating a database application is a complex procedure which needs the design of the database schema, design of the programs that access and update the data, and design of security scheme. The Entity Relationship Data Model was developed to facilitate database design by allowing specification of a schema that represents the overall logical structure of the database. It is one among the semantic data models in which the semantic aspect of the model is represented. It is especially useful in mapping the meanings and interactions of real-world entity onto a conceptual schema. The Entity Relationship Model. The Entity Relationship Model allows us to describe the data involved in a real-world enterprise in terms of objects and their relationships and is widely used to develop an initial database design. The three features used to describe the ER models are entity sets, relationship sets, and attributes. Entity sets. Entity is a real-world thing or object which is distinguishable from every other object. For example, each student in a school is an entity. The entity will be associated with a set of properties and the values for some set of properties may be used to uniquely identify an entity. A student may have an admission number property whose value uniquely identifies that student. An entity can be tangible such as a person or a book, or it may be abstract such as a lawn, a holiday, or a concept. A set of entities of the same type that share the same properties are called an entity set. An entity set student represents all students of a particular school. The individual entities that constitute a set are said to be the extension of the entity set. An entity is described using a set of attributes. All entities in a given entity set have the same attributes. These are the descriptive properties and they express that the database stores similar information concerning each entity in the entity set, but the values for each attribute may be distinct. For example, the attributes processed by a student entity may include student ID, student name, house number, street, city, etc. The entities will have a value for each of its attributes. For example, a student entity may have the value 53276 for student ID, the value current for student name, 258 for house number, second for street, and Mumbai for city. Another student entity in the same database will also have all these attributes, but the values may change. The student ID attribute is used to identify the students uniquely because there may be more than one student with the same name, street, and city. A database hence includes a collection of entity sets consisting of a number of entries of the same type. Relationship sets. The relationship represents the association among various entities. A set of relationships of the same type is called a relationship set. If E1, E2, E3, etc. En are entity sets, then a relationship set R is a subset of E1, E2, etc. En such that E1 in the set of E1, E2 within E2, etc. En within En, where E1, E2, etc. En is a relationship and entity EI is in entity set capital EI. The association between entity sets is referred to as participation. That is, in the above specification, the entity sets E1, E2, E3, etc. En participate in a relation set R. An association between the named entities in the real world is represented in an ER schema using a relationship instance. The function of an entity in a relationship is called that entity's role. They are useful when the meaning of a relationship needs further clarification. If the same entity set participates in a relationship set more than once in different roles, such relationship set is said to be recursive. Hence, explicit role names are necessary to specify how an entity participates in a relationship instance. A relationship can have attributes called descriptive attributes. Descriptive attributes are used to record information about the relationship rather than about any of the participating entities. A relationship must be uniquely identified by the participating entities without reference to the descriptive attributes. The number of entity sets that participate in a relationship set is called the degree of the relationship set. For example, a binary relationship set has degree 2, a ternary relationship set has degree 3, etc. The entity sets that participate in a relationship set need not be distinct. Sometimes a relationship might involve two entities in the same entity set. Attributes. An attribute of an entity set is a function that maps from the entity set into a domain. The set of permitted values for an attribute is called the domain or the value set of that attribute. The entity can be described by a set of attribute data value pairs, and each entity set may have several attributes. The attribute values describing an entity constitute a large portion of the data stored in the database. If an entity has no value for a particular attribute, it takes the value null to indicate not applicable or no value exists. Various types of attributes are used in the ER model, such as simple, composite, single valued, multi-valued and derived. Simple. If an attribute cannot be divided into subparts, that attribute is said to be simple. Composite. If an attribute can be divided into subparts or other attributes, that attribute is called composite attribute. Those are useful for designing such attributes which the user wish to refer to an entire attribute in some occasions and to only a component of the attribute on other occasions. Composite attributes help to group together related attributes, making the modeling clear. For example, the address of a student entity can be composite, consisting of street, city, state and postal code. Single valued. The attributes for which there is only one value for a particular entity is called single valued attribute. For example, the admission number for a student entity refers to only one admission number. Multi-valued. Sometimes an attribute will have a set of values for a specific entity. This type of attribute is said to be multi-valued. The phone number for a student or employee is an example for multiple valued attribute because a particular student or employee may have 0, 1 or more phone numbers. Derived. If the value for an attribute can be derived from the value of other related attributes or entities, that is said to be a derived one. For example, the attribute age can be calculated from the date of birth and the current date. Hence, the age is a derived attribute. Constraints. Constraints within a database are rules which control values allowed in columns and also enforce the integrity between columns and tables. Each ER schema may define some constraints to which the contents of a database must conform. Some of the commonly used constraints are keys, mapping cardinalities and participation constraints. Keys. Keys provide identification of attributes and relationships to distinguish entities and relationships from each other. The attribute values must be designed so as to uniquely identify the entity. A superkey is the set of one or more attributes that taken collectively allows identifying uniquely an entity in the entity set. If K is a superkey, then superset of K is also a superkey. But in some situations, no proper subset is a superkey. Those minimal superkeys are called candidate keys. Assume that a combination of student name and student street identifies the members of the student entity set. Then the set student ID and the set student name student street both are candidate keys. Although the attributes student ID and student name together can distinguish student entities, their combination does not form a candidate key, since the attribute student ID alone is a candidate key. The primary key is a candidate key that is selected as the principal means of identifying entities within an entity set. The keys primary, candidate and super are properties of the entity set rather than a single entity. Any two entities in the set are not allowed to have the same value on the key attributes at the same time. Hence, the key represents a constraint in the real world. Like entities, the various relationships of a relationship set must also be identified or distinguished. If the relationship set R has no attribute associated with it, then the set of attributes primary key of E1 union primary key of E2 union etc. union primary key of En describes an individual relationship in set R. If the relationship set R has attributes A1, A2 etc. Am associated with it, then the set of attributes primary key of E1 union primary key of E2 union etc. primary key of En union the set A1, A2 etc. Am describes an individual relationship in set R. In both of these cases, the set of attributes primary key of E1 union primary key of E2 union etc. primary key of En forms a super key for the relationship set. The structure of the primary key for the relationship set depends on the mapping cardinalities of the relationship set. Mapping cardinalities. The number of entities to which another entity can be associated through a relationship set is called the mapping cardinalities or cardinality ratios. They are highly useful while describing binary relationships, even though relationship sets involving more than two entity sets can also be described. A binary relationship set R between entity sets A and B can be one among one to one, one to many, many to one and many to many. One to one. An entity in A is associated with at most one entity in B and an entity in B is associated with at most one entity in A. One to many. An entity in A is associated with any number of entities in B, but an entity in B can be associated with at most one entity in A. Many to one. An entity in A is associated with at most one entity in B. An entity in B can be associated with any number of entities. Many to many. An entity in A is associated with any number of entities in B and an entity in B is associated with any number of entities in A. The real world situation of the relationship set determines the mapping cardinality for that relationship set in the designing process. Entity relationship diagram. The logical structure of an ER model is represented graphically using the entity relationship diagram or the ER diagram. The important components of an ER diagram are rectangles to represent entity sets, ellipses to represent attributes, diamonds to represent relationship sets, links to connect attributes to entity sets and entity sets to relationship sets. Double ellipses to represent multi-valued attributes. Dashed ellipses to represent derived attributes. Double lines to represent total participation of an entity in a relationship set. Double rectangles to represent weak entity sets. These are summarized in the table. The table provides the generally used symbols of ER notation called the Chen's notation. Since there is no universal standard for ER diagram notation, some may use the alternative notation. Here, an entity set may be represented as a box with name outside and the attributes listed one below the other within the box, like given in the figure. This means that E is an entity set with attributes A1, A2, A3, where A1 is the primary key. The mapping cardinalities can be represented in an alternative notation called crossfoot notation as given in the figure. Here, the relationship sets are shown by lines between entity sets without diamonds, and only binary relationships can be modeled like this. For example, consider the ER diagram given here. There are two entity sets, customer and loan, connected through a binary relationship set borrower. Customer has the attributes customer ID, customer name, customer street and customer city. The loan is associated with the attributes loan number and amount. If the relationship set has some attributes associated with it, these attributes should be linked to that relationship set as given here. The customer name can be a composite attribute consisting of first name, middle name and last name. Street can also be composite of street number and name. A more precise representation of the above given ER diagram is as follows, which shows the composite, multi-valued and derived attributes. Weak entity sets. Some entities may not have sufficient attributes to form a primary key. Such entity sets are termed as weak entity set. An entity set having a primary key is called a strong entity set. Consider the entity set payment, which has three attributes: payment number, date and amount. Payment numbers are sequential numbers starting from 1 generated sequentially for each loan. Thus, although each payment entity is distinct, payments of different loans may share the same payment numbers. Thus, this entity set does not have a primary key and is a weak entity set. To be meaningful, a weak entity set must be associated with another entity set called the identifying or honor entity set. The weak entity set is said to be existence dependent on the identifying entity set. The relationship between the weak entity set and the identifying entity set is called the identifying relationship. The identifying relationship is many to one from the weak entity set to the identifying entity set, and the participation of the weak entity set in the relationship is total. The discriminator of a weak entity set is a set of attributes that allows the distinction of the weak entity set. The discriminator for payment is the payment number, because for each loan a payment number uniquely identifies one single payment for that loan. This is also called the partial key of the entity set. The primary key of a weak entity set is formed by combining the primary key of the identifying entity set with the discriminator of the weak entity set. So, the primary key of payment will be the set loan number in payment number, where loan number is the primary key of the identifying entity set loan and payment number is the discriminator for payment. The given ER diagram represents the relationship between loan and payment. The double outlined box represents a weak entity set and a doubly outlined diamond indicates the identifying relationship. Double lines are used to show the total participation of the weak entity set payment in the relation loan payment, which means that every payment must be related through loan payment to some loan. The arrow from loan payment to loan indicates that each payment is for a single loan. The discriminator of the weak entity set is underlined with a dashed line. ER features. The basic ER concepts that model most database features, but in some situations it may require certain extensions to the basic ER model. Some of these features called specialization, generalization and aggregation are discussed here. The process of designing subgroups within an entity set is called specialization. Generalization is a containment relationship that exists between a higher level entity set and one or more lower level entity sets. Higher and lower level entity sets also may be designated by the terms superclass and subclass respectively. For example, the person entity set is the superclass of the customer and employee subclasses. In practical, generalization is the inversion of the specialization. In most of the database applications, both specialization and generalization are applied in combinations. Differences between the two approaches may be characterized by their starting point and overall goal. Generalization proceeds from the recognition that a number of entity sets share some common features, such as they are described by the same attributes and participating in the same relationship sets. Another important feature is aggregation and is an abstraction in which relationship sets along with their associated entity sets are treated as higher level entity sets and can participate in relationships. An example for aggregation is shown in the figure. Before we attend the next unit, please try to answer the following questions. What is meant by ER model? What are the different constraints used in database systems? What are the various methods of representing mapping cardinalities? Explain ER diagram with relevant notations. What is meant by weak entity sets? How can they be represented in ER model? Here are some books for your reference. J. Glenn Brookshire, Computer Science and Overview, 10th edition, Addison Wesley. A. Silberschatz, H. F. Koth and S. Sudarshan, Database System Concepts, 5th edition, McGraw-Hill. C. J. Date, An Introduction to Database System, 8th edition, Boston, Addison Wesley. Hope you enjoyed this session. See you next time. Until then, bye.